Hey YouTube, it's your beekeeper here. Just getting some short-term projects off of my workbench. If you remember a couple months ago, Gerry, Mr. Gerry, the Krazy45cat, and I had collaborated to do a little work on an old cannon that used to be his father's, little brass or bronze cannon. And I had offered to do the woodwork because that's just the kind of fella that I am. And Gerry's a pretty cool dude. Been watching him for the last few years. And thought I could help him out because I know a thing or two about my wood. And with that being said, Gerry, I'm going to box this up in a flat rate priority mail box. And I'm going to get this in the mail. I got to see what kind of week I'm going to have. It's, what is it, Monday night right now. And hopefully, this is the Thanksgiving week, so hopefully my week will be pretty quiet. And I can get this off to the post office and get it out to you. But let me show you what I have and what's going to arrive to you in the box. As we talked about before, we have the axle spacer. We talked that you felt that this was a little too thin, so I gave you two different dimensions to choose from. This one's about a 32nd to a 16th of an inch thicker. This one's a full 1/8 of an inch thicker than this one. And you can always modify. If this is too thin, you can take this one with a palm sander and shave it down to whatever you need. But there's your axle spacer. These are all done out of oak, red oak, by the way. We had the side. These are the side panels that cradle the pivot arm for the cannon. And if you guys have been following for a while, you remember that I built these and I made these to as closely replicate these rotten pieces that I could. However, it dawned on me 2/3 of the way through the fitting and sanding process that these guys really don't even match. And there are slight differences, height differences between the two. And I think a lot of it just has to do with the general breakdown of the wood over the years. So, so these also have that bronze, I think it's bronze or brass. They also have a metal strapping that goes around here. So my concern was that my fitting without having those straps here might be off. So Gerry, I went ahead and cut you two new ones. These are rough cut. This is pretty much what I started with these guys here. And they are about, I don't know, maybe a 16th of an inch overall diameter, slightly larger all around. And what that'll allow you to do is that'll allow you to come in. If these don't fit to your satisfaction inside those straps, you can take these and with a palm sander. This stuff actually sands pretty good. I was sanding it with 60 grit, and then I did a finish with 100, either 100 or 120, something like that. But if you get like a 60 or 100 grit sandpaper on a palm sander, you'll be able to really fit these. So you have two of those. Yeah. You've got two of these that are rough cut, or you could use these if these fit well. Your call. And the other ones can be used for firewood or something. And then, last but not least, this is how the main arm sanded out. And I'm actually really happy. This is the bottom, right? This rests on the ground. Here's the top. I'm really happy with how this contoured out with the shape of the cannon, where the cannon rests in here. I think it's gonna serve you very nicely. So yeah, so I'm really super happy with how that came out. It's really got a nice feel to it. It's your choice if you want to do more sanding. If you need to trim this, depending on where you want this thing to rest, that's entirely up to you as well. Without having the cannon here, it's kind of hard to see. But judging by what we started out with, I think it's going to do just fine. I think it's going to be just fine, and I will drop this in the box as well, if you guys will recognize that bottle. And hopefully you can throw that in the water for the next year or 14 months or however long it takes to make that a fun little art piece to hang from the ceiling. Alrighty, hope you're all having a good week. Talk to you soon. See ya!